Win Monday Nation. What is going on? This is the latest episode of Paul's Take inside of the Win Monday podcast. So I'm coming off a fire conversation with Dana Cavalia. And in case you haven't heard of the name, because he is not only the best-selling author of Habits of a Champion, most notably, he was the performance coach for the World Series champion New York Yankees. And he has now spun that off into be a performance coach for the elite of the elite, the highest performers of the performers, the highest achievers of the achievers. Basically, he coaches people like you and I to do our thing. And one thing, and what inspired this take today that Dana spoke about, which hooked me immediately, and I wanted to stay on it for the entire podcast, but we had to keep moving and pivoting because it was just a high impact, high octane conversation. So if you have not heard it, go back and listen to the interview. But the number one thing that I'm never going to forget that Dana posed a question around was, are you addicted to success? I will repeat that. Are you addicted to success? I never thought about that. I know that success is something that drives me. Of course, as I've grown and I've evolved and I've matured, I've started to combine success with things like significance. I've started to think about things like purpose and impact and legacy and making a difference and leaving people better than I found them. So I've softened those harder edges of driving, performance and achievement and grinding and hustling and all those things that helped me climb up a ladder. And I was winning the outside game, but I lacked a little bit of that fulfillment on the inside of me. So I got that, but he really got me thinking about, what is it about success that gets me out of bed? Have I gone too far? And what's it costing me? Because we all want the trophies and the recognition and the success and the achievement and the applause. We want that. Even if we say we don't, there's elements of that we strive for, because at least here in Win Monday, we always have said that we are a community, the Win Monday community. We are like-minded and like-hearted people that rally around this characteristic of unreasonable ambition. And I have no shame when I say that I have absolute unreasonable ambition. It's not that I cannot smell the roses of today, but I always want to grow. I want to become the best version of myself. I want to reach my highest potential, and I'm never going to stop. So I find things that I'm passionate about and I attack them and I chase them so that I can become the best version of myself. And those are the types of people. That is the spirit that I surround myself with. But it really got me thinking, and now I'm talking to you listening into this. What is the success that you're after? Why do you want it? What is the cost that you're willing to endure and pay in order to achieve that success? Have you surrounded yourself with the right support system for that success? And ultimately, is it worth it? In the words of Head, Heart, Hands, is your head and heart on board? Is this a green light? Or are you, like, if you're just after it for the money, that's head. But if there's no heart, then there's no happiness. There's no fulfillment. There's no substance. You're going to burn out. It's going to flame out. And that would be a negative addiction. But is it possible, if we flipped it, is it possible that it could be a positive addiction? Can you and I be addicted to good things? And is that okay? And I'm being very honest with you. I don't know the answer to that. I lean toward yes. I lean toward there can be healthy addictions. I don't love the word addiction for natural reasons. We usually attach that to more negative things like substances, etc. But I don't know. Is success such a bad thing if it's combined with significance and purpose and impact and legacy and fulfillment and joy? And I don't think that's bad. But here's something that, if I could impress upon you a way that I have dealt with success, because I've never been short on it, and I don't say that with ego. I say that from a very humble place to say that success was never the challenge. Climbing a ladder was never the challenge. Title, money, responsibilities, and a LinkedIn profile looking better and better by the day, week, month, year, that was not the challenge. The challenge for me has been that inner game. And also, there's different chapters of life. Young Paul, single Paul, by myself, moving all over the country for the sports game. That was a different chapter. But now, and then I meet my best friend, my rock, my soulmate, Myra. And so now we're a tribe of two. Now, today, we're a tribe of four. Add in PJ and Luca. And so there's always got to be this assessment of where am I and what am I after and what's this going to cost me, especially if I go too far. If I over index on this potential addiction of success, what is the cost? What is the trade-off? I know what the promise and the payoff is. That's why I want it. But what's the downside? Because every pendulum, what goes up must come down. And here's something that I did that maybe this will help in your journey. Because me as a keynote speaker, I consider myself the most lucky and grateful and fortunate person in the world. I have found my calling, and I mean that from my heart and from my soul. I will speak till the day I die. I have found my thing. But here's the reality of speaking. It's a time for money exchange, meaning every time I say yes to an opportunity, and in order to go take the opportunity and ignite the impact, which of course takes care of my family, and that's the exchange, typically travel is involved. So it's time away from my family. So I say this not as a speaker, I say this as a father, as a husband, and as a human being that wants to win holistically, not just professionally, not just at work. What I've had to do is say, instead of speaking as much as possible, which might fulfill a lot of professional things, and it might check all the success metrics of being an eventual Hall of Fame speaker or whatever accolades are out there. Cool. That could be the price. But what I have landed on is I need to put a limit. I need to put a boundary. I need to put parameters on how much I am willing to drive professional success. And my arbitrary number, this is not applicable to any other speaker. I said, I'm willing to get on 50 planes a year. And I had a conversation with my wife, Myra, about that. And we agreed and said, okay, whether it's one a week or whether they're spread out, who cares? 50 planes in a year, it's still an aggressive number. It still allows me to attack and pursue the dream, but I feel that I could still maintain harmony and integration as a husband, as a father, as a human being, and speaking wouldn't get in the way of that. Versus if I would have fear, to be very direct, I would have fear if I spoke 70, 80, 90, 100, 140, 100. I know people that speak 150, 160 times a year, and that's awesome for them, but that's not what I want to do. I professionally would love to do that, but I wouldn't be willing to pay the cost and take the trade-off of what that might create as a negative domino in the rest of my life. So whatever that is for you, to land the plane here on this take, what is the success that you're after? Is it a green light? Is it driven by your head and your heart? Do you think it's a good idea? Do you feel it's a good idea? Are you all in on that success? Will it benefit the rest of your life holistically, or is it going to have negative trade-offs and consequences and costs? And also, are you surrounding yourself with the right support system, whether that means a partner, whether that means a team, whether that means a coach, an advisor, mentors? Are you surrounding yourself? And this is something I'm real serious about. Like, we have to audit what the trade-offs and the costs are of success, and when is enough enough. And even if I did get to the promised land, what's the pendulum going to do when it swings down, if it were to swing down? And we just have to look in the mirror and be super, super honest about that. So that is the take for the day. Let's audit what success means to us. Let's audit all of the elements that surround success. Let's audit if we have a, quote, healthy addiction to that success. And let's leave it at that. I think those are phenomenal questions for us here in today's latest episode of Paul's Take inside of the Win Monday podcast. All thanks to my main man, Dana Cavalia. I can easily see how he inspired the elite championship performance of a World Series champion, New York Yankees, and now he's sharing his insights with me and you. So go back and listen to that conversation on the Win Monday podcast. And that concludes this episode of Paul's Take. I'll see you next time.